Both the House and the Senate Intelligence Committee about the attack on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi. This as former CIA Director David Petraeus is set to testify on the Hill behind closed doors tomorrow. Joining me now is Intelligence Committee member, Democratic Senator Kent Conrad from North Dakota. Also, the chairman of the Senate Budget Committee, importantly, with the fiscal cliff looming ahead. Senator, let's start with Benghazi and the intelligence hearings. What have you learned so far that it all clarifies the responsibility for potential intelligence failures before, during, and after the attack?
You know, the hearing starts this afternoon at 2:30. Be another hearing tomorrow morning. So we've not yet had any testimony. I think what people are looking for is a timeline. Who knew what when? What did we know was occurring? I think all of us understand that in these kinds of circumstances, there is a certain fog, sometimes called the fog of war. Obviously, this is different than a typical war, but this is a terrorist attack. And certainly there was a certain amount of confusion among intelligence operatives. And that's understandable, but we do need to know who knew what, when did they know it, and what did they do about it.
What is David Petraeus' responsibility for this? There is some suggestion that General Clapper, the director of national intelligence, was putting out its defense without checking with other agencies for the way Benghazi was handled. And also that the White House is not happy with the CIA for giving talking points to Susan Rice. Political difficulty on those Sunday morning talk shows. Do you think that the agency should bear some responsibility, or is this a scapegoating after the fact?
You know about this town, Andrea. There's always a certain amount of scapegoating that goes on in this town. I think the most important thing for us to understand is really what is the timeline. And as I expressed earlier, what did people actually do when they had different information? Because, look, there was chaos. There's no question there was chaos. That's nobody's fault. That's the real world. And when there's chaos, it takes time to sort it out. Obviously, talking points were given to Ambassador Rice. She was told by our intelligence agencies a certain story of events that proved not to be correct. That's not her fault. That's whatever intelligence agencies gave her that information. That's their responsibility.
What about the fiscal cliff now and the negotiations? You heard the president yesterday. You've certainly heard the Democrats and Republicans. You're leading the budget talks and the efforts to try to resolve this. What is your sense? Is there a solution that involves some way around the tax dilemma and also the budget cuts?
Yeah, I really think there is. You know, I've been part of the Group of 8 negotiations. We've had several days of meetings already this week. Finance Committee on the Democratic side met yesterday. Finance Committee, the full committee met today. I really do think there is a way forward. I think this is something we can do. My own belief is we ought to agree on a down payment, several hundreds of billions of dollars of revenue and spending changes made right now, and then agree on a larger framework that would be the entire package. How much are we going to save out of entitlements? How much are we going to save from the discretionary accounts, including defense? How much are we going to raise in revenue? And in some broad outline, how are we going to raise that revenue? What are going to be the actual steps taken? And then the specific details to be worked out in the first 6 months of next year, and all backed up by a fail-safe mechanism that says if 6 months of next year, will be automatic changes made on both the spending side of the equation and the revenue side, so we have an assurance that we are going to address this problem, that we're going to get our fiscal affairs under control, and we're going to get this country headed in the right direction.
Senator Kent Conrad outlining a possible solution. Thank you very much.
You bet.
And heightened tensions in the Middle East. Will the conflict spread? Israel's ambassador to the U.S. joining me next. You're watching Andrea Mitchell Reports, only on MSNBC.